Good morning, happy Friday. Thanks for joining. Let's get started. Let's start with our lower body first. So mobility, welcome. Flexibility, a little bit of mobility. Almost the same thing. A little bit related, a little different, but interconnected, interfaced together. So mobility, let's start with our ankle, going in a circle. Just working with our foot, going in a big circle, then change directions. So working with that same foot, going in both directions, working on ankle mobility. Right? As you draw a circle with your foot, with your toes, then we go to the other side. Same thing, and you're sitting back in your chair, completely relaxed, all the way back. Nice and easy as we go in a circle with our foot. And the height of your leg doesn't matter, whatever feels comfortable for you. You raise that. If you pick up that leg and you try to straighten out, you get a little bit of quad contraction. So if you want a little extra leg work, you could keep your leg straight and strong and flex the whole time. Go in the other direction with that foot. All right, moving on. We're going to work on our hamstrings. So you want to sit close to the edge of your chair and give you a little bit of a side view because you want to be very, very mindful of your spine, your upper body, your torso. We're going to stretch out our hamstrings. So I'm going to start with my right leg fully extended and straight. From there, shoulders up and back. Think about your core. So maintain a very, very good posture, kind of close to the edge of your chair, but not too far forward where you fall out of the chair. Two hands. Make sure you're stable. With that leg in front of you and that leg off to the side. Try to keep a flat low back as you bend forward from the waist. So think about your shoulders up and back and down, and keep your shoulder blades back, retracted back. And reach forward. It doesn't matter how far you go with your hands. Think about bending forward from the waist, but keeping a neutral spine, a neutral back. And using two hands to slide down the shin. You're just trying to prevent your back, your upper back from rounding. And potentially, kind of promoting that bad posture. We're trying to get rid of that rounded upper back position. We don't want to promote it because in general, we want to try to keep our shoulders back, when we're standing and walking. Even sometimes, sitting in a chair, you want to try to have good posture. Nice and easy, switch legs. So we set up one leg, nice and bent and supportive. The other leg is fully straight and extended. Shoulders up and back. So you want to lift those shoulders up and back. Tighten up the tummy. Two hands. Slide down the shin and try to keep that neutral spine. Right? You're fairly straight with your spine. Or upright as you bend forward. Right? So your spine is as vertical as it can be, even though you're bending forward and you're hinging at the hips or at the waist. It's okay. You just try to prevent that rounded spine. It doesn't matter how far you go. The goal is feeling the stretch in the back of the legs, the thighs. And that is the challenge that we're trying to get. We're trying to achieve that stretch in the back of our thigh, the back of our leg. Nice and easy, we come out of that. And we're going to get into our figure four stretch. So this one you can go all the way back in your chair. You have several options, several progressions. You can cross at the ankle, you can cross at the knee. If this is easy and you don't feel much of a stretch on that leg that's up, which we're aiming for the hip and glutes, then we cross ankle at the knee. So for me, my left leg is bent and up. Left outside part of my left ankle is resting right on top of my thigh, a little bit above my right knee, which is down. My right leg is down. Hold it here. Sometimes people are good just right here. You can apply pressure and increase the range of motion in this stretch and push down on that knee. If that's easy and you're not feeling much of a stretch, then you progress to the next position, which is 2 hands right around the ankle, and you use your left arm and elbow to push in to the inner thigh. So you have a lot of options, starting from the ankles, crossing at the knees, then you have your ankle on top of the knee. You can use your hands to stretch, and then this is the ultimate way to get that big range of motion, and you leverage your body to push that leg down. And the challenge is trying to get your shin somewhat close to parallel, and sometimes you can't quite do it, and that's okay. As long as you're feeling the stretch in the hip on the same side of the leg that's up on top of the down leg, the grounded leg. Switch sides, same thing. So depending on what you did on the other leg, you're going to try to duplicate it on this side, my right side now, which tends to be the tighter side for me. And we always start slow with our stretches, right? Take it easy. Don't overdo it. Slow and easy stretch, always. We don't want to force it. We just want to work and gradually build the flexibility, build the mobility. We're trying to work on our hip mobility and flexibility. Flexibility for the muscle, mobility for the hip. And so for me, I started with a less kind of intense stretch, and now I'm progressing towards a little bit more pressure, intensifying the range of motion, or increasing the range of motion and intensifying the stretch a little bit. Because now I can really feel it on my down or elevated leg. For me, my right side, my right hip, my right glute. The gluteus medius is where you really feel it, and that's that outer part of your hip or glute, outer part of your bum. Just try to breathe through it. Remember to breathe and don't hold your breath. Always breathing. Especially if you find a painful position or stretch. You always want to try to breathe through it. Unless it's too painful to the point where you're feeling like it's going to lead to an injury, then we back off. We don't do it. You find an alternative, or you dial back the intensity or the range of motion of the stretch. Moving on. All right. Let's work on our back. Lower back. Erector spinae. So there's muscles all around in our lower back area. We're going to try to loosen up our lower back by reaching my right hand on that arm bar of my chair. My left hand is on the outside of my right knee, and I'm pushing against my right knee, and I'm leveraging the chair to help me turn and rotate. And I'm trying to turn to the right. It's almost as if I'm trying to look behind me, looking over my shoulder, using your arms as leverage. Your legs stay pointing forward, your feet are pointing forward, and you're just trying to hold the stretch. And then we duplicate the same thing on the other side. So now I'm grabbing outside my left knee, holding onto the left side of my chair, trying to twist and turn to the left. Go back to the other side. Remember, we just try not to overdo the stretch or force it. Never want to force a stretch. You're just working within your own flexibility and range of motion. And you try to improve upon that slowly and very easily. Now, we don't want to force it to the point of injury. So always take your time, be mindful of your body, be aware of what's happening and what you're doing. Protect yourself as we're trying to get relief throughout our entire body. One more time to the other side, to the left now, last one. All right, coming out of that, let's work on the airplanes. Side to side, lateral flexion. So now we're kind of hitting more of the obliques, which is the side core of our muscles, the love handles, also known as the love handles. So we're trying to stretch that out. It's a muscle, right? It's all attached to the hips and ribs. We just bend to one side. Your feet are wide. Toes are pointing out a little bit. You're kind of in the middle of your chair, maybe kind of close to the edge, but not too close. And from there, you're just going down to the side. Now, you go down as far as you're comfortable with. We don't force it, right? But the challenge is definitely trying to get the one arm, the top arm, perpendicular to the ceiling or the floor. Then the bottom arm, you're definitely trying to reach for the floor. But you're using your legs to also help you stay in your chair and stay stable and balanced as you shift. Now, if you can't quite reach the floor, it's okay. Focus on that top arm, because you can definitely manage the top arm and get it straight. Or at least it's a little easier to manage as opposed to the one going down. The one on the top arm, you're working on a little bit of that upper body, shoulder mobility. But when you focus on the down arm, that's actually going to kind of stretch right here through the obliques and the side of your body. So you might be a little limited there. But hopefully you have the ability with the shoulder and at least this upper part of your body to reach up above as you come down. And we're going to increase it a little bit now. So as we go to the side, wherever that is, that's fine. Reach away from your body. It's almost as if you're reaching for the opposite wall now. And it's going to really crank up that stretch through the ribs and armpit area. And go to the other side and then reach for that opposite wall. So we're no longer aiming for the sky. We're going over to the opposite side, away from our body, over your head, and doing what you can. Even if you can't come all the way down, you can see my hand isn't all the way down, but I can still reach and go across or over my body. So you can still get benefit. All right, even if you can't go all the way down, that's all right. You do what you can. You go as far as you can. But we don't force the stretch. One more time, both sides. Last one. All right. Good job. All done with that. Let's move on to our shoulders. Arms. A little mobility with the shoulders. Just sitting in your chair, kind of relaxed, nice and tall with your posture. Be mindful of the arm bar on your chair if you have one. And think about drawing a really big circle with your arm. Whatever you can manage. Whatever size of the circle is, it doesn't matter. You want to try to come back behind you. Try to go above your body, above your head, and then to the front. real big circle. So really try to reach back behind the body, get that stretch through the chest and front part of your shoulder. And then let's reverse the movement. Change directions, but you're on the same arm. Still being mindful of your surroundings. Don't hit your arm on your chair. Be careful. Big, big circle. Stretching out the chest, shoulder, a little bit of that arm, bicep. One more. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. Big, big circle. Nice and easy. Again, don't force it. Whatever that range of motion is with your arms, whatever it is, as long as you're feeling that stretch, that's all that matters. Big circle. Change directions. Same thing. Couple more. Last one. All right. Let's stretch out our neck. So, sitting nice and tall, you can relax your arms in your lap or your leg on top of your legs. And from here, make sure those shoulders are down. All right, we don't want to shrug. Drop your shoulders, relax your body. You can even roll the shoulders up and back and then let them sink down. From there, we tilt the head towards one side. So I'm tilting to my right. So my right ear is getting close to my right shoulder, but you want to relax the shoulder because sometimes there's a natural tendency to shrug. Don't shrug. Just relax the shoulders, tilt the head to the side, then go to the other side. Again, just nice and easy. Gentle stretching, tilting the head. Try not to tilt the body, just the head. Keep the body neutral and tall. Other side, one more time to each side. You really feel that stretch along this side, the opposite side. So as I lean to my right, I stretch my left side of my neck. Go to the left, and now as you go to the other side, you stretch the right side or the opposite side. So the lengthened side of your neck is what you stretch. And then the last one, chin coming down, the back of the neck. So just let the chin go down. Sit tall, shoulders are down, and drop the chin. If you want a little extra pressure to feel that stretch on your neck, you can apply some light pressure to the back of your head. And again, light, very gentle. Light, light, light. I'm interlacing my hands and I'm applying pressure. Nice and easy, relax. Finish with some wrist mobility. So we did the ankles. Now let's get the wrists involved. The wrists need a little work too. We use our hands and our arms daily, repeatedly, all the time, everything. We're always using our hands for everything that we do. So they need a little mobility as well. Just a little bit of work. And then we're going to finish with our feet. My favorite. A couple of options. Okay. Well, I think we'll just start with the basic and use our hands. But I will grab a very light dumbbell. And so just so you can see, you can use a dumbbell if you want. And you'll use the handle of your dumbbell. to kind of just put pressure on your foot. And you're stepping on top of the handle. Now, you don't have to do this. That's the alternative if you can't get your foot, like we did in our figure 4 stretch, if you can't get your foot to cross over on top of your knee, the ankle on top of the knee, like we did in the beginning of our mobility routine, if you can't do this, then you're going to use a dumbbell. But if you can do this, we're going to use our hands, our thumbs, to manipulate our foot. So sometimes just getting in this position is a challenge, but we're not doing it to stretch. We're doing it to massage and move our foot around. So that's the difference. We're not trying to really stretch it, but if this is about the maximum you can do for your mobility, it does make it a little challenging, but hopefully that will loosen up as you play with your foot. So you can start squeezing your toes. Squeezing them, moving them around, wiggling, maneuvering, manipulating your toes. So we start towards the front end of our foot. And then you can get into those big knuckles at the end of the toes. And you can move those around. So the ball of the foot, the balls of the feet really is what they're called. And you're manipulating those. And then from there, you use your thumb to dig into the arch of your foot. You can use both thumbs. You can do one thumb at a time. Just digging in. 2 thumbs maybe. Depends. But it's all, dependent on you and what you can do. It does take a little bit of hand strength, finger strength to push and dig into your arch. But hopefully you can just, even if it's just a little bit of movement, massage, it helps. It really does. And then squeeze your your heel. Just kind of engulfing that heel in your hand, encapsulating that heel with your hand and squeezing on that heel. Just squeezing. What we're really trying to do is just manipulate and maneuver all that tissue down there to give your foot some relief. Switch sides, because our feet tend to be in shoes a lot. Obviously, if we're walking outdoors, your feet are in shoes, and so they become constricted and tight over time. And so it's always nice to just manipulate your own foot. Or get a foot massage. You can pay someone to do it. Let's start with the toes, and then work our way to the knuckles, and then the arch. So you're just kind of duplicating what you did on one foot, and you're doing it on the other one now. Now with the dumbbell, if you're using the dumbbell and you're using the handle, you're just rolling back and forth with the roller or the dumbbell, the handle of it. So that's if you can't quite massage your foot. You can use this, or even better, a tennis ball. Tennis ball is better. Not everyone has a tennis ball. Not everyone has a dumbbell. You can use a water bottle. Just something strong and sturdy. Water bottles are great, like a canteen bottle, like a clean canteen, a Hydro Flask bottle. Not one of the flimsy plastic water bottles that will kind of collapse as you put weight on it. It's got to be firm and sturdy, not glass. Definitely don't step on glass. And continue to manipulate your foot, massage out that foot. The arch now with your thumb, dig in there with your thumb. Again, just trying to give you a little bit of relief, because we are on our feet all the time, walking around, moving around, and so our feet get tight. They do. There's a lot of bones. 1/4 of our bones are in our foot. Our feet, both feet. So there's a lot of tissue down there, a lot of nerve endings down there. And that's it, guys and girls. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time and your effort. Take care, stay healthy, and I will see you next time.